such a pleasure. And I've got one. Sandy, so thanks. All right, so it's with great pleasure to see all of you here. I like the idea of the celebration of life. Because, frankly, we all have a bucket list, right? We're all supposed to be taking care of our life every single day and taking care of ourselves. And today is about something. There's a little quote or a phrase in one of the Beatles songs. Getting a little help from my friends. Being able to get a little help from my friends. Today, that's what it's all about. All of you are here to support Krista in getting a little help from her friends. So I welcome you, and I also want to say thank you. So many of you have already donated and are in support of Krista. And my highest hope is to see her go from getting a little support to thriving and really going to the next level. So that's what you're a part of today. So with that, I'm going to turn it to Pat Riley.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have the good fortune and pleasure to be able to provide thank you to a number of people for today's event. Firstly, to our host, Mike Scoggins. Mike, would you make yourself? Thank you so much for this lovely venue, and also to your gracious mother for tolerating us. Peg Scoggins, thank you for having us. And for the team that put the event together, Almaz Nagash, of course, Michelle Derrickson, and Cindy Campbell from Human Connexus. Cindy, of course, created the structure for us to do this event most effectively, and as well as helping in the planning with Almaz and Marcella Derrickson to make today possible. In particular, I'd like to thank Penny Devlin, who was able to contribute $5,000 with a matching $5,000 in Varian Medical through the United Way campaign. Wow. And I would ask you all to consider checking with your employers to see if they have a matching gifts program that could be very helpful in our drive here. Next, Tom and Pilar. Tom and Pilar, whom?
I didn't put their last name on there.
Okay, Tom and Pilar.
They're not here.
Who've donated a week timeshare in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. Fran Heller, who donated United Miles round trip to London in July for Krista and her two children.
Wow.
Prasad Kaifka, who donated United Miles for a U.S.-bound trip for Krista and her children. Phil Dixon, who provided a professional juicer, which I assume is an automated professional juicer. Next, Deborah Cohen for providing an alkaline water filter. Thank you, Deborah. And then many people who were so gracious to help with cash donations, as much as $1,000. In particular, I'd like to thank Wiley and Janet Grieg of the One World's Children Fund, as well as Michael and Savitri and Jamie of the One World Children's Fund. I hope I got those names correct to pronounce them. Elena Ponce, Robin Griffin, Naomi Chavez-Peters, Chris Peters, Sarah Gaber, Almaz Nagash, Renee Falconio, Kendra Phelps, Camille Smith, Janine Athas, Joanne Dem, Suzanne Gamon, and many others, including Rosella and John Derrickson and their family members. And other components of today's event, contributors to today's events are Lauren Hoover has donated appetizers, as well as California Cafe has donated a fruit and cheese platter that you probably all saw up front, and opa, which is one of my favorite words in the Greek language. I have to say efharisto to opa for donating tomates, the grape leaves. And lastly, I'll say thank you to the band for the entertainment. I'll be followed by our guest of honor, Krista.
Oh. I do lots of presentations, but usually they're not about me. So it's a lot harder when you're talking about yourself. And first, I just want to say, how grateful I am to all of you for being here. I've always been the kind of person, the German style, where you're supposed to give, but you're not supposed to receive. And a very wise person said to me recently, no, Krista, really to be a master in your own life, you have to also receive sometimes. And so that is the moment right now, really, from all of you. It's for me to receive, and I thank you all so much. It's been such an interesting journey. From 10 years ago when I did traditional treatment because of my mother. She was diagnosed with cancer along with her twin sister. And so I was asked to go and have an early mammogram. And I knew when I saw the technician's face that I was in big bad trouble when she stopped being nice to me and acted really professional. And so from that moment, from being diagnosed and going quickly into surgery and chemotherapy and radiation and losing my hair, and I thought, okay, everything's fine, and I got through it, although as many of you know, I know there's some other cancer survivors in the room, you do chemotherapy and they practically kill you, and they almost did. So there's this edge that you put up against. And it changed my life, really, in the way I thought about everything after that. My kids at the time were 2 and 4. And so I have little toddlers, and I was so, wanting to win the fight so I could raise them. And every year I'd nervously get my mammograms done, and then, of course, this year it's not a really very pretty picture. And the news just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse as I heard, what was really going on inside my body. But as you can tell, I never really thought I had a problem. I felt fine. I just was cold one day and went, what's that little bump there? I better have that checked. Of course, I waited a little while because I thought, oh, it's nothing. Because any time I have a problem, I think, oh no, there it comes again, problem at the door. So, this time I thought, I'm not going to do what I did the last time. I'm not up for that plan. And luckily my father sent me a book by Suzanne Summers, her latest book that's out, and in there was this doctor in Reno who was doing something new. And so he helped me substantially financially, which was wonderful, because it was about $30,000 to walk in the door and do this alternative treatment. And they did all these detox programs, put me on IVs every day, and my doctors from Kaiser, my traditional plan, were calling me at home. Where are you? What are you doing? Why are you here? The surgeon is waiting for you. And I said, no. I'll call you later. I get support from friends, and Julie, who's here, said, just tell him you'll be back when the time is right. And then I didn't think I would be, but I actually had to go back. So I went to Reno, and I met these amazing, beautiful people living and some dying with cancer. And they helped me to really see life differently again, to get my head back on straight. In particular, one doctor, I call him the love doctor. He said, Krista, how much do you love yourself? So the first thing you have to do is love yourself, 10 out of 10. And I said, well, maybe 8. Because I should be this, I should be stronger, I should be more successful, I should be all these things, I should be a better mother, And he said, no. First we forgive ourselves 100%, and then you love yourself 100%, and then when you're done loving yourself 100%, I'm going to keep my eye on you, he says. He looks at me and says, you're special, I'm watching you. And so he'd see me almost every day, call me in his office. Now he's a love doctor because he had polio as a child in Lebanon, and he could hardly walk. He's the funniest looking guy, and he loved himself 10 out of 10. And so when I go into his office, he would beam, he would look at me and say, oh, you're here. I said, now I am. If you can do it, I can do it. And so I changed every day. I worked to honor this man who really helped me get back into life and to live with cancer instead of being morose and dark and having a bad day. And, I just kept thinking, well, I'll figure this out. I'm going to figure this out, but I'll figure it out. And they put me on this alkaline diet with this wacky water I have to drink and this crazy food I have to eat. And I feel fantastic. So the good news is it seems like it's working. And the one thing that they did that was really unique, and I know there's people like Anne that are here that work in the traditional oncology movement, they did something that you can't do in the United States. They sent my blood work to Greece to test what actually would cure the cancer. And they have to send it to Greece because it's not the protocol here in the U.S. to check.
Good Lord.
And so last time I found out the chemo that I did that almost killed me and lost my hair, and my cousin couldn't walk, and people were debilitated, actually probably didn't work at all. My own immune system has kept this at bay for 10 years.
Wow.
And so now I have this new chemo that I'm on based on this blood test that was sent to Greece.
Wow.
And I had to go back because it was actually something they do provide through Kaiser, and I thought I'm getting something paid for by the insurance. What happens to my insurance? And I went in and sat down with my doctor, who I first had to investigate, like these coincidences. This one woman at the clinic with me had the same oncologist as me. She was from Santa Cruz, and she said, "Oh no, she won't work with me." So I thought, I'm not seeing that woman. So I called up this one nurse I knew at Kaiser, the only one I knew. I said, "Who is open-minded?" I found out who was open-minded, called the doctor who was open-minded. I have to say, he's not really that open-minded. But he was not bad. And I sat him down, and in 2 hours, it took how many doctors even see you for 2 hours? I don't know. He was leaving for vacation, so he didn't have anyone after me. He was stuck with me fighting for 2 hours. And he would say, "You need to do this." I said, "No, I'm not going to do that." I said, "I want to do what my other doctor said to do." And he said, "Well, that's not proven. We don't believe in that here." And I said, I thought, okay, I do consulting. I'm not going to be defensive. I'm not going to make him wrong. I'm just going to say, "I hear you." Because what good was it going to do me? He said, "I hear you, but I'm not going to do it your way. I did it that way 10 years ago. Your worst nightmares come in the door, and that would be me. And I'm only going to do this one thing." And 2 hours later, he said, "Okay, yes, we're going to do it." So I'm doing it. And I had my very first blood test last week, and it's working. So, so 30% down is a lot for 2 weeks.
Wow.
30%. So I'll be on this chemo for a while. I said, "When do I get to go off of it?" And he says, "We'll see. A year or two, or when you become resistant." Oh my God.
Jeez.
But, I don't lose my hair, and I feel okay doing it, and it's not that bad. So hopefully, if I can really succeed, we'll see how it plays with this new diet and everything else that I'm doing. It'll keep knocking back. So I have to go back to Reno at the end of the summer, and that'll be another $7,000. And then I'm on about $1,000 a month in supplements. Nothing toxic can live in this body right now. I have these pills I'm taking, and they're amazing, and I feel great. So I figure that one of the changes I'll make in my life is I'll help people with cancer. Because if I can figure this out, then I'm going to go back and do that. That seems like my calling right now, is to go and change lots of things in my life, including my work and how I focus on helping people. And really, what's my calling today forward? How do I make a difference today forward? So if you're wondering, like, doesn't her insurance cover this? Well, not really. I wish you would. And then, Priscilla mentioned the bucket list. I am so grateful for the miles going to London. My kids are a little freaked out, and I didn't want them to be here today. I thought it'd be a little overwhelming for them. They're off with their dad seeing friends. And they were really upset at first, but I'm like, I check in with them all the time. "Are you guys okay?" And they said, "Mom, if you ever lie down, like act sick or something, then we'll worry, but right now we're good." They're okay for the moment. I'm not going to lie down and act sick for a while, but just in case. Because, so one friend said, "Well, Krista, I don't understand cancer. What is stage 4 mean?" I said, "Well, there isn't a stage 5. I'm going, "Oh, shit." Okay, good. I said, no. Right now, what they tell me, it's everywhere. It's in my bones, it's in my lungs, it's in my breast again. It's everywhere. But it's everywhere just a little, right? So I don't have any impact. But I know from the people that I met at the clinic, they had a little slip go to another part of their body, and they aren't here anymore. And so for me, traveling this summer with my kids is I have to. Because what if I don't have another summer? If I have lots of more summers, they'll remember it as a great summer. But if I don't, we're going. And I'm just so grateful for the donations and the things that people have gifted to me. And I thought, if you're going to go down, you're going down with guns blaring and lots of fun and no hard times. And so another person I talked to, Eric Drewer, did you ever make it, Eric? Is he in the audience anyway? He was going to come. He's a famous cancer survivor in the town of Los Gatos. And he may show up a little bit later. He was saved by, Stanford almost killed him, and then he went to Germany and did umbilical cord from a baby girl transplant of stem cells. And they rebooted his entire immune system, and the cancer is gone. So there are cool, but it costs.
It was 2. Because for a person that's 6 foot something, 1 stem cell will work.
Right.
So he was the first person to get 2
his cancer is gone. That he was sent home to die. So there's stuff out there. I think that cost him, I think he said it was several $100,000. Yeah. And the town of Los Gatos rallied and did this interesting fundraiser for him. So I'm thinking, well, who did I forget to mention? Oh, Sheila. Sheila, where are you? There's Sheila. So not only are people sending me trips, I'm being sent healers. And I figured, I'll take any kind of healing, as long as it doesn't hurt. So Sheila's here, and she is an apprentice with Michael Harner, who is a very famous shaman. And she came to my house with her own drummer, and I had a shamanic healing, which was fabulous. You know, you gotta wonder, does this stuff work or not, but who really cares? It felt fabulous, and if it's true, I got it. I got the new mojo. So she's here, and what I told her was not only am I grateful for people doing this, but she's doing it as an apprentice free for anyone that wants it. So anyone that's always been curious about shamanism, because she's an apprentice, she's doing it for free for all of you. So if you're interested, she'll come to your house, and you'll get your own program. So I say, don't miss it, because I really enjoyed it, for anyone that's always been curious. So just meet Sheila and get her card. And let's see, what else did I forget? Well, one person. Mike, where are you now, Mike Scoggin? Mike has gifted so many hours of his time to set up this party. And the thing that I know about Mike is that he and John worked together for many years, and he is an amazing project manager. You can see the project layout and designing this party. Well, he's job seeking right now, so if you have any leads on project management jobs, we want to help those who help me, or at least I do. So if you could help him, I would really appreciate it. So make sure you check in with Mike if you have any way of supporting him in his job search. And I want to thank this team who's been so amazing, and each of you for the way you've contributed to my life. And I guess just in closing, and I hope that I'm going to be living for a long time with cancer, not dying from cancer. And then if there's any inspiration that this moment has for any of you, it's really don't miss out. Don't plan for your retirement, for God's sakes. And don't wait, because in 5 years you're going to take this great trip. And don't let petty, stupid things be real problems. Because you know what, right now they really annoy me. You know, why? Why not just live your life now? Because we all have cancer. The planet has cancer, and we all have life. We choose. Which one are we going to embody? Which one are we going to be? So I hope that you all choose to live life a little bit more fully, because you don't know either. I was fine. I thought I was fine, and I hopefully will be fine. But if I'm not, then make each moment precious and celebrate. And rock out, and don't forget to dance.
Krista, you are one amazing individual. Isn't she just I have known Krista for several years, mostly through Spoden, and we've been co-authors of the book, and I've always known her to look out for others. She has always been the individual at every single meeting who has always networked, reached out, tried to get other people to help. She's helped me in many, many ways. And so I feel such a privilege to be a part of her life. And I just love her and adore her and look up to her in so many ways. And she's the one person that I know, she knows a million people in this valley. But if you ever need to know anybody, you just say, Krista, do you know someone at such and such, and she'll connect you. So wonderful. So I feel such an honor to be a part of this. And I started Human Connexus about 2 years ago for this exact purpose, is to help people who, because of an unfortunate circumstance, needs a little helping hand. And so when I met with Krista, it was just kind of coincidental. We just kind of emailed each other. I emailed Rosella and Krista and said, let's have coffee. And boom, immediately we got together. And usually you have to wait 2 to 3 months, right, to get on Krista's calendar. But it was like within 2 days we were talking. And I said, let's do a fundraiser. Come on, let's do it. Let's, we'll work through Human Connexus and let's go for it. And then we connected with Mike and Pat and pulled Almaz in, and this is the result of that. So I'm so happy that all of you are here to be a part of this. And so basically from Human Connexus, what we'll be doing for Krista is Krista and I will be looking at the donations and we'll be working together to figure out, the proceeds from this are absolutely going directly to Krista, and that's why it's set up this way. And so all the money, and we'll sit down, and Krista and I are going to work everything out. So you haven't had an opportunity to really sit down and figure out what you'd like to give, please do. And if you still want to give more, we're more than happy to do that. Because we'll take whatever we can, because there's a lot of dreams that Krista and her family has, and we want to make sure they're fulfilled. So in any way you can, dig deep and grab forward and donate. The other thing that was mentioned earlier, I highly encourage you to work with your corporations to do matching funds, because a lot of them will do that, and it's wonderful, and we'll make sure that fund gets directly to Krista. So thank you everybody for your generosity and for being here. It's just great to see such a lively group. Thank you.
Thank you, Krista. Thank you, everyone. I also am one of those very lucky people to have had this incredible opportunity to meet Krista about 3-4 years ago. I met her and I instantly fell in love, but my husband is over there. And he knows I have spent a lot of time with Rosanna and Krista. The most generous woman I have ever met. And I mean it in every aspect of it. When I was transitioning from Santa Clara University, I remember saying something to her, and she said, "Oh, we got to meet." So we met with Rosella, and the relationship has become so strong. We ended up writing. There's only one woman who's not here today. 4 of us are here today. But it's so funny when I heard Cindy mention about Human Connexus. I actually reminded Cindy last time we started it. This discussion came at a table at one of the corporations somewhere in Silicon Valley. And I only hear Krista's voice say, "Oh yeah, sure, you could do it." And it's always been like that. And for me, a person who has come from Africa, made my home in Silicon Valley, I have 2 children, wonderful husband, but I am surrounded by incredible people. Many of my friends, some of them are here, many of my friends are here in the Valley. But sometimes you meet one person, and that person takes total central core of who you really are or who you want to be. And Krista has been this woman for me. Her strength, her ability to love people, she absolutely embodies the whole essence of love transcends culture, ethnic group, whatever you call it, religion. She and I really, we stand together. We don't look alike, but we have a lot in common. We are human beings. And that's what we are here for. I celebrate you. I love you. And I am so grateful to all of you for loving this incredible woman who is so generous. She will give anything. And she's done it for me, for all of us. So I am so fortunate. And I will never feel anything but love and life for her. Because I also do not know what my future holds. None of us do. What I know is this moment is so beautiful. And I'm so grateful for that and all of you. So I ask you all to raise your glasses and cheer for life and happiness with her 2 beautiful children and all of you. So this is for you.
For Krista.
For Krista.
Thank you.
All right, I'd like to thank the last person, Terry Dahlbeck, who's actually a sponsor for Spoden. She has a secret second life, and you're going to see her second life when the band comes on. Hopefully they're about ready to come on, and they are amazing. In fact, if you want to catch them on the 4th of July in downtown Los Gatos, don't miss their act. But you're getting the preview act, and they are smashing. So thank you to Terry Dahlbeck and her entire band who are about to come on, and thank you to all of you.